Hey y'all, so today I was going to show you how I keep my summer waves above ground pool clean. I see a lot of videos, people asking questions, and I got it last year. Bought it from Walmart. It's 16 by 48, and I was clueless about a lot of things, especially the vacuuming, because it did not come with all the attachments. But I figured I'd show you guys how I do that, how I keep it clean. And also, I will show another video of what chemicals I use, my daily, weekly process. I live out in the country. My husband's building a deck. It's not completed. The pandemic threw a wrench in that due to the lumber prices, but we're almost there. Use a little ladder for the steps for now. We got a pretty good rainstorm last night, so it's a little dirty. Started raining a little bit ago, and so I'm letting that ease up, and then I'll show you guys. The dirt work was done last year, and when I closed it for the winter and then tried to reopen it, we had a horrible windstorm, as you can see in this picture. It really messed up my pool. Had to buy some more poles. Right now, between the replacement poles and the deck, we're about 5 times more than the actual pool cost. But we live out in the country. We have a couple ponds, lots of dirt right now until the grass grows, and every time the wind blows, that dirt goes into my pool. It is a little bit uneven on that side, not too bad, but I'll get that re-leveled. And this is my Summer Waves Elite 16 by 48. So my pool is pretty clear. I mean, we got some dirt at the bottom here from the rainstorm last night. It was actually clean before it started raining because I had just cleaned it, and I had actually got in the pool. What I like to do in the pool is pretty much cool off. I like to lay out, get some sun. I do use tanning oil. A lot of people say you should not do that in a swimming pool because it can clog up the filter and blah blah blah, but I do because it's my pool and I'm the only one that cleans it, so I use what I want to use and I clean it every day, and my pool is still going strong. And I am going to show you guys how I clean this pool, vacuum it up, what it's going to look like afterwards. The little mat underneath my ladder, I just got it from Walmart. It's a bathroom mat you can use for your bathtub, and it has little suctions on the bottom. Looks like one side's not suctioned down all the way, but it's dirty underneath, so I'm going to clean that as well. And I'm going to do all of this outside the pool because if you did not just hear, we had a little bit of thunder. So it's a little bit cloudy. It's not super warm yet, but it was warm yesterday. And it's gonna warm up even more. We got some leaves and some dirt, and we're just gonna get that all cleaned up. So the materials that I use is there's this little attachment here. This I ended up having to buy online because my pool did not actually come with it. It is just the vacuum attachment that goes into the filter pump. I did get these 2 attachments with the pool. We've got the little plug there for the main filter pump. And I dropped the other one. This one is for the outtake part, Once I vacuum, I use these two to plug in the intake and outtake so I can clean out the actual pump. And this little attachment here is the actual vacuum head. Actually got that one at Walmart. The hose, I think I got it at Target last year. I have a couple of them, but this is my favorite so far. And my pole, I got it at Lowe's last year. And then my net I got that at Lowe's this year. My two nets I bought last year actually broke them, so I got a new attachment for that. I also use a washcloth. I'll show you guys how I do that, what I use, why I need that washcloth, and I'll be back in just a few minutes to show you the rest. You're going to want to have an extra filter cartridge, and I like to use, this actually comes from Lowe's, this filter cartridge cleaner. You can get them from Walmart, all different kinds, but this is my favorite. Works the best for me. I have two filter cartridges. I rotate until I need to replace. We clean each one each time we use them. So there's one in there right now. And I will show you guys kind of what it looks like that's going on right now in here. It's probably pretty dirty. Yep. Not that bad. Around the rim it's dirty. I keep a 1-inch Clorox, or you can use whatever kind of tablet you want for your chlorine in there, but I like to use the little ones in there all the time, so I always keep one in there. Right now I have one that's kind of small, so I put a new one in there yesterday. They last a pretty good while. I also use the 3-inch Puck chlorine tablet in my floater at all times. That helps keep it clean. Again, in my next video I'll show you guys all my chemicals and my daily routine. But before I vacuum, you have to take this stuff out. And I'll go ahead and take the chlorine tablets out. But I'm not going to change my filter cartridge just yet. And that is because I'm going to vacuum. And I have a clean one I just showed you guys. And I rotate. And since I vacuum pretty much every day or every other day because of the wind and dirt. So once I vacuum, I will pull out this dirty cartridge and clean out the inside of my pump and replace it with the new one, clean my old one real good, and set that one aside for tomorrow or the next time I vacuum. So to start vacuuming, of course you want your pump running. You're going to put your little replacement in there, just like that. And so basically the hose is going to attach to this, and that's going to suction up whatever I'm vacuuming. Okay, so I have my hose connected to my little vacuum attachment. One key thing to do is before you attach it to your intake, just take the end of the hose and put it on the outtake. What that's going to do is that's going to push the air through the hose to bleed it. You don't want to hook the hose to the intake until there is no air or anything in there, because what will happen is you will mess up your pump. You don't want air going through your pump. So just do that. It's really easy. It's really fast. I just do that and wait for the air bubbles to quit coming to surface from the actual vacuum head. And once that is done, you will be ready to vacuum. And basically, I'm just going to go around my pool vacuum head. It's really easy. And it's just gonna pick up all of the junk at the bottom of the pool. So once I go around the whole entire pool, I will show you guys the end results. Okay, so now I have finished vacuuming my pool. I have some floaties coming around on top of the pool because the wind's blowing. So I will have to go back through and reskin the top. But I have finished vacuuming the pool. There is no more dirt on the bottom of the pool. And here's the key, guys. Go slow. You don't have to make this a race. It took me about 15-20 minutes to go around the whole pool on the outside. I like to do it while I'm in the pool, but right now I'm not, so I'll do it on the outside sometimes. And you just go slow. I mean, it's like kind of like vacuuming your house. You don't just run across the floor with a vacuum cleaner. You're going to want to go slow. And sometimes you may have to go over it a couple times. Also, on the perimeter of the pool at the bottom is always this little flap. So you may have to go sideways on that to make sure you get all that. Also, something else that goes on is once you get finished vacuuming, because you've gone through the pool and stirred some things up, there might be some things that settle again at the bottom. So I usually wait about 5 minutes and see what all has settled, and then go back over the pool again in those areas. Like I already see a few things at the very bottom. There's some stuff over here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's just a few little things at the bottom. And when you're vacuuming up dirt or sand, you know what happens to that when it gets in water? It becomes mud. So it sticks to the bottom of the pool. You're going to want to go over that slow and multiple times. Go forward, go backwards, go side to side. Make sure you get it real good and clean. Make sure your little vacuum head has some brushes at the bottom. That helps. I actually have 2 vacuum heads that I use. This one is newer, so I've been trying it out to see how well it works, and so far so good. The other one is just another one that I bought from Lowe's. It's more of a triangular in size. I'll show all that when I show all the chemical and supply video. But yeah, so I have finished vacuuming, and I'm going to go back over it one more time. So now that I've finished going over the pool one more time, just a few minutes, just picking up any spots that resettled, any leaves that floated around and settled back down. My pool is vacuumed, and the next step you're going to want to do is unplug your hose, and just unplug it from the vacuum valve. Okay, so we vacuumed the pool. I have pulled off my attachment hose. My pump is still running. Don't unplug, but don't turn your plug off yet. I went ahead and removed the hose and the vacuum head and the pole from the pool. Now, this next step is very important with the summer waves, and you have to be kind of quick. You're going to have to turn the pump off while the little vacuum head's still in there. Get back over here as soon as you can and plug it, both plugs. Okay, so turn the pump off. I've got it plugged. As you can tell, I'm having to hold one side, the intake, because that will fall. The outtake is pretty good. It plugs really, really well. Can we see that? I hope so. It's not raining anymore, so it's sunny. It's hard to tell what you guys can see. So while I'm holding that, I'm gonna pull out this stuff, the cartridge and the little basket. Now that I've pulled that out, you can tell that's pretty nasty, right? And the little cartridge is pretty gross too. It's got leaves, dirt, all in it. So my next step is, how do I get that clean? I don't want that to go back in my pool. So got a little old bucket here. I am going to put that bucket underneath this, and I'm going to drain it. So while that's draining, I'm still holding the other end. I've got my foot holding the bucket. It's draining. Looks like it's done, right? It's not done. So now that the water is out of the pump here, I can let go of my plug. The problem with the intake plug is it will not suction as long as there's water on both sides. So a lot of people say, oh, it falls off, it falls off. Yeah, it will, but you gotta hold it. And if you're only one person cleaning the pool like me, it's very hard to do all this and hold a camera. I've asked for a GoPro for my birthday for my husband. Hopefully I'll get that. If not, I'll buy it myself and then stick it to my forehead, and you guys can watch me as I do everything without me having to hold the phone or the camera. So, next steps. It's dirty. It's dirty. I don't like it dirty. I want to clean that. So, I am going to twist off the bottom. I'm going to pull the water hose around, and I'm going to clean it. Okay, so I've got the bottom off. Everything's taken apart. If these plugs fall, I'm going to have a hell of a mess. But I did this so many times, so I'm good. I put my bucket underneath there when I untwisted my pump. Now, all I'm going to do is rinse it off. Make sure, see, some leaves came out there. Just make sure it's cleaned off real good. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the inside of this out real good. I'm going to just rinse it off. So now that's clean on the inside. This is where my washcloth comes into play. I got my washcloth. I'm just going to spray a tad bit of my filter cleaner stuff. Just on one end of my washcloth. And then I'm just going to clean the rim of it. That's usually from my oil and stuff, or, you know, if the pool's real dirty, I just clean that ring out. Clean the ring. Okay, so now I'm ready to put it back together. Okay, so now I have the bottom put back on. Guys, make sure you do it really tight back on there or you're gonna spring a leak and have a mess. But I'm doing this all by myself, so I'm able to do it. You can do it too. Make sure you have all your stuff plugged back in. Everything's good to go. Now I'm just gonna come over here and get my clean filter. Now I've been using this one for over a week, back and forth. This was a newer one, and I've just been cleaning it. Like I said, I rotate. You're just gonna put that back in there. Make sure your little basket, skimmer basket, is clean. Usually I just have to pat it off, but if it has nastiness in it, I may have to use a water hose. Now, let's make sure I don't spring a leak. I'm gonna unplug that one. Now I'm going to unplug that one. And usually I cannot tell if I have a leak until I get it started. I like to go ahead and put my little skimmer flipper back on here. It snaps back on, see there? Okay, I'm gonna walk over here and turn my pump back on. Okay guys, look. Top one, it says reset. That turns it on. The top one is test. That turns it off. Don't unplug it every single time. Like if it's raining, I will move my whole thing out of the way, because if rain's coming onto the porch, I mean, I obviously don't want my electricity to get all plugged up or to get wet, and I don't want the electricity to get wet and blow it out for some reason. That would be just my luck, and then I'd have to buy a brand new pump again. Okay, so everything's back on. I don't see anything dripping or leaking, and my pump is running. See that nice clear water? Everything's running. I'm gonna put my chlorine stuff back in there, and put my lid back on, because I'm not going to be doing anything else in there. Now, the next step is, for me, is to clean that nasty mess off there, which is really easy, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we need to clean this off, and guys, I'm not going to be able to show you exactly how I clean it, but I will give you the idea. My little water hose head, I have all these different things, and to clean the filter cartridge, I like to use the angle, and I'll show you why. So when I go on angle, you can kind of see how it goes in that manner, and so when I'm cleaning it, because I'm going to hold this while I clean it, and I can show you guys, I'm going to clean it real good in there, and I'll show you how to do that, maybe on a different video, but I will go ahead and clean it and show you what it looks like on this stuff. Okay, so now I have just sprayed it all out. There may be a little bit of stuff in there, but that's okay. Just sprayed it all out with the water. Now I am going to use my spray, and I'm just going to spray this all over. I hold it like this and just spray it up and down all over, and then I let it sit for about 10 minutes with the cleaner on there, and then go back and rinse it all off. So while we're waiting on the filter cartridge, the 10 minutes from when I sprayed my cleaner on there, I usually just go around the pool and skim any bugs or anything that fly in, because that happens to me constantly, bugs, leaves. So I'll just go ahead and skim it while I'm waiting, because I'm a little OCD, as my husband says I should start a pool cleaning company for these pools. But anyway, I like to have a clean pool, regardless if I'm getting in it today or not. I clean my pool, because if you keep it clean and you keep it maintenance well, it's gonna last you a while. And actually, this pool was just a trial pool to see if I like it, because at the time I got it for only $2.99 at Walmart, which now they're a lot more expensive and it's hard to find. But my next pool will be a hard-sided pool from a pool company and have them come set it up for me. But just want to make sure it was something that I wanted to do and that I really enjoyed doing. And actually, it's kind of therapeutic for me to clean it and lay out on the float, get some sand, get some sun. And also, real quick, my little chlorine floaters coming around reminded me, the washcloth I used to clean the inside around the rim where the dirtiness was, I just wiped that off. I used my washcloth to wipe off the rim and around the sides of my little chlorine floater, because I was in it yesterday with oil, so it had a little ring. Just keep, you know, the little things, just keep them clean. Looks like I might need to clean my steps. They're a little discolored because they set out all year. But when the wind blew my pool over the deck, when I was trying to open it, now there's a little space between my pool and my deck. I couldn't get the pool quite where I needed it to, but it ended up being okay because my steps fit perfect right there. So I'm okay with that. You know, like I said, when I get a different pool or re-level this pool, maybe we'll move it over, but for this summer we're just gonna leave it as is. Also, a lot of people like myself, when we got our pools, we did not get the accessory kit with it. We just got the pool, the ladder, the plugs, and the pump stuff, and just one of the pool filter cartridges. So that little vacuum attachment tool to use for vacuuming was not in there. And because of the pandemic and because everybody was buying up pools, I couldn't find it anywhere. It was out of stock. It was out of stock with Walmart. It was out of stock online, on eBay, on Amazon. It was out of stock even with the Poly Group company. So I was really irritated because there's just nothing else you can use as an attachment, because the Intex or the Best Buy or the Best Way, all the other pools, they do not have the same type of filter setup and pump setup as we do. So I even tried buying plumbing attachments, and it just wasn't working out for me. So in the meantime, what I did, and of course I did try the little vacuums that you can hook your water hose to, but when you have dirt in those little mesh bags, it just comes right out. So I was so annoyed. Every time I would try anything, all the dirt I was vacuuming was just coming right back out into the pool. So I have a tip for you. There's a couple things you can do. A lot of people like to use the whirlpool method, where you get your kids in the pool and you have them run around to do the whirlpool, and it gets all the stuff in the middle and settles in the middle at the bottom of the pool. Well, that's a great idea, except my kids are grown. They don't even live at home with me anymore. Sure, I might have my nieces or somebody come over, but that's just every once in a while. So I was not able to do the whirlpool method. I tried by myself, but just could not get it to work. By the time I was running around 20 times, I was so out of breath that I was going to have a heart attack. So that just did not work for me. But if you have kids, that may work for you. But still, how are you going to get the stuff out of the middle of the pool? Well, you can use your net and get the big stuff, but you're still going to have dirt and specks that you cannot get out. So I have a tip for you. A lot of people also show videos where they use their hose and will, try to push water through it and then throw it over to the side of the pool, and then the water comes out from the suction. I tried every single way people were showing on YouTube, and the water hose method really worked for me, but people didn't show exactly how to do it, and the way they were showing just wasn't making sense. So here's what I do. When I did not have that attachment. So first thing I did was, of course, I attached my sprayer attachment. You take your water hose, put it in your pool, turn the water hose on full blast, okay? Make sure it comes out in the pool full blast and continues. Once it's coming out really good and water's coming out really good, while everything's still plugged, while the hose is still in the pool and this is plugged in and your water hose, your water is on full blast, while it's on full blast, you have to unplug the water hose. So water's going to start spraying out. Once you have it unplugged, you can turn the water off, and then I just take it out here to my field somewhere, and the water's going to come back out of the pool. Now I will show you a way to do that in a different video, because that's also how I used to drain it. Because if it rains too much, my water will overflow in my pool, pump won't work properly. So a lot of times I use that method. That's the exact method I use to drain it, but you can use it to vacuum too. So while that's happening, because now you've got a suction, the water is coming out It's a really long method, but if you do the whirlpool and you have it all in the middle, then you can just use the water hose to suction up that debris. But make sure it's small debris, not the big debris. So what I was doing, so once it was in the water, I would get in my pool and I would just go around the pool with the water hose where all the dirt was at and just suction it all up. Works perfect. It takes a really, really long time. You're losing some water, but when you are poor like me and you don't want to have to buy a $300 automatic vacuum cleaner that runs on a battery, because even if you get the ones that runs off the hose and you don't have the attachment, it's not going to work. So use the water hose method if you cannot or get the attachment for this particular pool, or you cannot afford to buy any more accessories or what have you. But that's what I did. I did that for a couple months. Every day I got in the pool and I used that water hose, and that's how I vacuumed it. I didn't have anything else on the other end of the water hose. I just went around the pool. I like it the best around the perimeters of the pool, because in the cracks and stuff where all that dirt can get, it works perfect because it suctions really well. And once you're finished, just take the water hose out and turn your water hose, plug the other end back into your spout there, turn it on full blast, and let it flush out anything that is remaining in your water hose. We have a really long one, so that's what I have to do, because once I pull it out, there's bound to be something stuck in there somewhere. So I just flush it out, and once it's flushed, I put the water hose back in my pool and fill it back up to where I need it to go. Because like I said, when you're vacuuming with that water hose, you're going to lose water because it's suctioning the water out. And when I show you guys how I drain the pool, I will show you how well it suctions at that time. Okay, so the 10 minutes is up. I rinsed out my filter cartridge. You see, guys? Well, there's still a little bit of junk in there. I could probably spray that out again. But for the most part, super clean. Looks almost brand new. And if you do this, and you continue to do it like this, your filter cartridges will last you a long time. Mine gets super dirty when I'm vacuuming. If it's like black and just yucky, I can still do this and make it look almost brand new. Now, after a while, they start becoming ruggedy and these things start chipping or whatever. You just want to throw it away. They're really cheap at. I like to get the intex, even though I have a summerwaves pool, I like to get the intex filter cartridges, and you can buy 2 of them for like $6.49, $6 and something, almost $7 for a double pack at Academy. And I usually get a couple each time I'm in town and I go near Academy, and that way I'm stocked up on them. And if something happens like this stupid pandemic where you can't get them and people want to price gouge you and inflate the prices online, then you already have some. But that is how I keep my filter cartridges clean and reusable. And since I'm rotating my filter cartridges and already have one in here, the one I just cleaned that I pulled out a little bit ago is going to be set aside underneath my porch. You can put it in your house, wherever. Let it dry till next time, but just keep it where dirt cannot go everywhere. Also, another tip on making your tools and accessories last is put them away. Do not keep them outside in the weather, because you are going to damage them. They will rust, they will get dirty. What's the point in using a tool to clean your pool if you're going to put it in there dirty? So what I do is I just have a little tub. This is the tub I keep outside. It does not have my chemicals in it. It only has my tools in it. So there you have it, folks. I have all kinds of different tools. Could show some videos about what I use each one for, but for the most part, when I'm cleaning my pool and vacuuming, I will do everything I just showed you in the video. Again, I will show another video of my chemicals, my daily and weekly maintenance tips, and as long as you keep your pool clean, you will not have to use a ton of chemicals. I've already tested my water yesterday, so all my levels are perfect. And when I do the chemical video, I will show you guys how to test your water. It doesn't take much, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. And we want to make our pool last, especially right now, since they cost so much to get a new one. This pool right here is going to run you over $1,000 right now. Again, I paid $299 for it last year, and I barely got it. But this year, the pool sizes, there's one that's one size smaller than this one. It's a 14 by 42, and they are priced at $5.99 at Walmart, if you can actually get one. Was at Academy yesterday. They had an intex pool, which is basically the same pool. It has a different pump system, but basically the same pool. It was a 15 by 42, and it was $5.99. So my pool's a little bit bigger, paid $2.99 for it, so I want it to last. And if you are paying the higher prices for them because of the inflation we've got going on right now, still, you want to keep your pool clean, you want to maintenance it, and get it to last longer. I'm a poor girl, so I don't like to just throw my money away. Every day, I'm cleaning this pool one way or the other. I'm not putting chemicals in it every day, but I do clean it. The only chemicals that stay in this pool daily is my chlorine puck that I keep in my floater, and the 1-inch puck I keep in my pump filter, just in the tray. Again, just, keep your pool clean, and it'll be nice and cool and refreshing when you get in there, and not dirty. Nobody wants a green, nasty pool. And you definitely don't want to get skin irritation because your balances are off. So last year also, I had my landscaping done real nice and pretty all the way around my pool. But again, when the windstorm happened late spring and messed my pool up because I had drained it and was going to re-level and fix it, it messed up my pool, my landscaping, so I had to put the pool back together, refill it. It's a little off from where it was, but I still plan on fixing it back. It was nice and pretty, but I'm going to fix it back with the landscaping. I have some more lots. I have plants that I like to keep around it, just to keep it nice and pretty, just because that's what I like to do, and I live out in the country, so what else do I have to do out here besides fish with my ponds? And on my other channel, which I don't have anymore, people wanted to see our ponds, so here is one of them. The algae keeps growing, and my husband's been working on that to clear it up. I have another one just directly across from it. People like to come out here and fish with our permission only. Usually it's only family that are allowed to come out here to fish. Yes, we have fish. We have all kinds of fish in there. We have big fishies in there. And this is all of our property, and it goes back really far that way. Can't see that because of the deck. But we are still having more dirt work done because when it rains, it unlevels the house. So we've been having lots of dirt work done. That's why you see all this dirt. It used to be all grass, but we're having all this dirt work done so that it will flow properly. But this is the land, and there's goes back really far. My mother-in-law lives out in that house, so there's some property past her house that is ours. There's one pond, and there is two ponds. We have a few neighbors now. More people are moving out here. People are selling land. But for the most part, there's over 60 acres of ours, so no one's going to live right next to us except for those who already live here. And some that have moved in purchased other houses, which are driving us crazy because they're psycho. Anyway, back to the pool. It's nice and clean. So if you guys like this video and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button and the like button. This is a new channel, but I'm going to keep it up, and I'm going to show you guys all kinds of fun stuff that I do as a poor girl, country girl. But you know, I do work full-time, and I am still able. I am just so impressed with myself and keeping my pool clean, because last year's the first time I've ever had a pool, and I'm just, you know, a lot of this is trial and error. What works best for you, not what everybody else says that you need to do. I'm not telling you this is what you have to do, just telling you this is what works best for me and what I'm doing to keep my pool clean. Another thing also is, a lot of people say you need to cover it every day. Cover it at night. Cover it when you're not using it. Well, mine came with a cover, and that cover's a piece of crap. It has the drawstrings on it, but I live in the country. You can see. And the wind picks up out here. When the wind picks up out here, that pool cover goes up like a flying tarp and dome, and then it flies off, and I don't want it landing in the street or in the road or in somebody else's yard. And it has holes in it now because of the wind. So I have bought all different types of little tools and clamps for different things, automotive clamps, things like that, and it will keep it on sometimes. But if we get a storm and the wind picks up, that tarp is gone. It doesn't matter what I use to hold it down. I've tried every trick and still working on it. So if you guys have a better trick besides the hangers, I have other clips. I have, like I said, automotive clips. I've tried everything. Nothing works. And when I do have it on and it rains or whatever, all the water and the dirt that's on there goes into my pool while I'm trying to take it off. So I've defeated my purpose and made a huge mess. And it's not the easiest task to put on and off by yourself. It's gonna get in the pool. So I just keep it off and clean it, because regardless if I use it or not, I'm still gonna have to clean my pool. But that's all I got for you guys today. And like I said, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you would like to see more videos, please hit subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and stay tuned. I have lots more coming at you. Bye. Thanks for watching.